Well, hello, when did you get here? If I was really that genius, I'd have the kind of success that Banksy has. But obviously, I can't be that genius if I don't. That's how I look at things. It would be arrogant to assume anyone was paying attention to me. But I'm paying a lot of attention to myself every morning. Because everything is shit, people only want happy pictures. And I happen to be the purveyor of miserable pictures. I'm the Morrissey of photography. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing is I can't tell you the amount of times I don't really shoot much advertising, if any, because the client always looks at my work and goes, isn't there anyone slightly happier than this? And there inevitably is. I'm not very interested in happiness, or not in terms of myself, but just in terms of, I think my pictures are not very. They might be strange and odd and hopefully lovely or surprising, but I don't think they're necessarily full of happiness. One of the fascinating things about America is that everything becomes commerce at some point. Whether it's religion or entertainment or anything, or politics, everything's about selling here. And so, you go to a mega church and they'll have a McDonald's and a Starbucks, or part of that comes from a project I was doing called United States of Entertainment. And it was fascinating to me that you could have what might be considered in other countries important religious things of important religious significance become a theme park here, or a sort of something to go to with your family, to like the world's largest 10 Commandments or something. It's interesting actually, because you see people on the subway in winter and they have those overcoats on and they keep the label on the sleeve that says 100% lamb's wool, or whatever it is, instead of removing it, because it's a way of showing people that they can afford a coat that's made of 100% lamb's wool. So there are interesting ways in which consumerism manifests itself, and a lot of the things that you buy, I guess, are ways in which you tell the world who you are, obviously. But I've really got an aversion to that. I don't like to wear any labels, anything that's recognizable. But on the other hand, I'm obsessed with cars, but I love cars not because of that they say that I have a tiny, tiny penis. It's fascinating because I think that obviously China is becoming more and more important, and the East is becoming more and more important, and the West, in particular America, is becoming less important. I suspect that a large part of America has no sense that America is less important in the world. And I think about the idea of how it must have been to be in England during the collapse of the empire, when it occurred to regular English people that England was no longer of any importance. And I wonder when that point will happen here. I think it's not just America, I mean, it's everywhere, but I guess I've been living here for 15 years, and I find that delusion is so part of who we are and how we live. You can't really function without lying to yourself, basically, on so many levels about I think about this all the time. Like, you'll see someone on the street and they're wearing some insane outfit, and I think to myself, that guy got dressed, looked in the mirror and said, you know what, I look great. But that's a very small example of how we function on a much larger level. I mean, the way in which during the Iraq War, we all managed to persuade ourselves that all those things that were happening were necessary and valid. And then my last project, Kim Jong-Phil. Hello, gents. You can't be an artist and not lie to yourself, because otherwise you can't function as an artist, because you have to tell yourself that you have important things to say. And if you don't tell you, or that you're saying something of importance to yourself, if you don't lie to yourself, then you don't go forward. So I feel like delusion is as much part of our existence as breathing or love or the rest of it. People argue about stuff that makes no sense to me, and religion and difference. I mean, the difference is the thing that makes people fight. It's also who we are as a species. I mean, everything's different, so why get mad about difference? It's like getting angry at air, or pissed off at right angles. I mean, there's no fucking point to it. So why bother?